On this week's episode, we finally get to talk about No Time to Die.
And other pop culture news. Who let the dogs out?
You!
We start this week's episode talking about Indy. Indy is our 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And I don't know where she got it, but the song Who Let the Dogs Out by the great, I have no idea who sings it. Hahn. Okay, there you go. Who Let the Dogs Out? Row, 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 row. That's supposed to be right?
Kind of. They say who, but there's definitely a barking motif, if you will.
Okay. But she thinks she decided as you.
Yeah. Moreover, she used the song as evidence that I had, in fact, let the dogs out. We don't own any dogs. But she sang me this song and then lectured me for like half an hour about it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And how we didn't know where the dogs were. Maybe the bad guys got them. Maybe somebody else adopted them. Maybe they got hurt. Anyway.
Your reactions are pretty funny. You should post that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Who let the dogs out? It was you.
The person asking is already blaming.
Yeah.
I guess it happens, especially if kids, we ask and we blame them because, most of the time it's their fault.
Well, yeah.
Anyways, let's go to business. This week, we finally saw the latest number 26, is that it?
I have no idea, but that sounds
26. The 26th.
26th-ish.
Yeah, maybe not. But anyways, the latest James Bond movie, 007 movie, based on a great Ian Fleming's novels. This was the last one with Daniel Craig. Is the end of that. How many was 8, 5, 6?
That sounds right.
Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Spectre, Skyfall.
And this one.
And this one, 5. This one called... Is there one called Spectre, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, and we just saw in the movies, the movie theater was packed.
Yeah.
And the movie was good. It was fun.
I loved it, honestly.
We're not gonna spoil much because the plot is that's a fun thing. The plot is basically always the same, but they always entertain you. They always make you think, and they always give you emotions.
Yeah, that's what really impressed me with this one. Like, there were so many classic Bond moments, things that could be cliche and silly, but they didn't feel that way in the movie. It was really well made, honoring all the Bond traditions, but doing them in updated modern ways that frankly I thought were better, improving on everything. This is my favorite Bond movie. I haven't seen that many, but it's my favorite.
But no, it's really good, and as I say, the plot is basically the same in all the movies. The world is about to collapse because the supervillain comes to threat life as we know, threat mankind on the planet, and they need James Bond to save the day, and that's pretty much what happens. So we have Bond, the good guy, with his MI6, also his CIA friends. We have the bad guy, and also we have always have beautiful women, the so-called Bond girls. There's nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, there is one of the Bond girls, but we know that from the trailer. It's a girl. No, one of the 00 agents. It's a girl, which is also not new because I think there's an really old one that there's a Bond 00. There's a girl, or at least there's someone really high on the MI6 that works as a spy, help Bond, and but it was fun. The movie is intense. The wait was long.
Yeah, this was supposed to be released at the beginning of the pandemic or something.
Yes, it was the thing.
There were production delays and then release delays and delay. Oh, we've been waiting for this ages.
Yeah, but it was good. It was worth the wait. It was fun. It was a great way to end this this franchise, not franchise. It doesn't end the franchise to end.
Yeah, this chapter. Let's say
this chapter.
Yeah, Daniel Craig's chapter.
Craig was in 5. I think he's one of the top ones because the one before was Brosnan. I think he was in 4, and the one before was Timothy Dalton. He was in 2. I watched a lot of Bond movies, so I know a lot about that. Roger Moore did a lot. Maybe Roger Moore did more than him. Roger Moore before that. George Lazenby did 1. But it's a really important one for the whole narrative because it's the one that at the end, James Bond gets married and is ready to settle. But at the very end, it's like after he beat the bad guy, he marries the girl, the bad guy comes back in a classic Bond type of thing, and he kills the wife. And it's not only the most tragic one at that point, also in the emotional because Bond gets married and is ready to move on, but also she dies at the end by the hands of Blofeld. That it was rebooted, remade it on this new ones. She dies. In not only that, the movie ends. In the next movie, it picks up right there with James Bond at a cemetery at her grave, and then it was Sean Connery on the next one. Was when they brought him back.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, and because George Lazenby died, so he couldn't do more than one.
Sad.
And of course, before him, we had Sean Connery that did quite a few.
Classic.
And we do have, I think, I'm not gonna remember his name, but there's like 2 movies that are not part of the so-called canon. They are unauthorized, and they I don't think they even use the term 007. I think it's just. Anyways, one was Sean Connery, the other one I can't remember his name. I want to say Peter Sellers, but I might be super wrong. Anyways,
I'm sorry, I don't know these things.
Among this whole universe of Bonds, Daniel Craig closes his chapter as James Bond, and he does it really well.
Yeah.
The movie it has everything. It's fun. It has action.
Yeah.
And
intense action sequences. Good plot, some really cool like cinematography type moments. Yeah. This isn't a spoiler at all, but there's one point where he's like chasing the bad guys and he rounds a corner, and like he bam down the hallway, but the hallway is like it's more like a tunnel. Yeah. So it's basically like a recreation of that opening credit, right? Where it was just very cool how they worked that in to the actual film. So lots of cool moments like that.
There's cool action. There's a long shot. He's climbing up a set of stairs to get on the villain's base. No mystery, no spoiler. Every Bond movie has like super secret villain's base. So he's climbing those and fighting the guys and shooting. It's all long shot. It might have 1 or 2 cuts, but it's like it's a long scene and it's pretty cool. It's pretty intense.
Yeah. So it's all like really well made, and I laughed. I cried at one point. Like James Bond movies aren't supposed to make you cry, but this one I cried. And something I've really loved. For a long time I did not like James Bond movies at all. Mostly because of the depiction of women and the way they were used in the films. Like, it just drove me nuts. But the Daniel Craig, like, the people working with this chapter of the Bond universe, they've created such great female characters. So the Bond girls aren't just props. It's not exploitative. Like, they're really cool, like, fleshed out, interesting characters. To the point where in this one, I was left in tears. It was just a really good movie. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I would recommend this to anybody.
It's really good, and the way they end the chapter. One thing that all Bond movies have, and this one has at the end, is like James Bond will come back or will return to
will return.
And so MGM bought. Amazon bought MGM, and that's a big MGM property. Always was. And certainly Amazon's gonna make more, and hopefully they're gonna make more. They could do spin-offs, for some. They could definitely Ana de Armas character. Not getting into it.
Yeah.
But she's working with the CIA. Mm-hmm. And the way they close her participation in the movie, she's her own character. She can do she can fight, she can spy, she is a super spy. They could definitely give her a spin-off for several of the other characters.
They could, there's definitely room here to build a bit of a universe. They don't even have to be super connected.
Oh no.
It's just like, hey, remember this cool person who we had that one scene with in Cuba that one time?
Yeah, no, if they have good writers, they could spend on that.
For sure.
It's by far the biggest French movie franchise ever. It's like almost 30 movies.
Yeah.
Can you think of one that has that many?
Not that many.
Harry Potter has what, 9?
8.
8. Star Wars.
Oh no, not well. If you include Fantastic Beasts, then it's up to 10. Fast and Furious has 11.
Yeah.
Star Wars is getting there, but they only have 12 or 13.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Maybe Star Wars would be Star Trek. It would be some strong competitors because they go all back in the day.
And they also include
movies.
Television and stuff.
And they started way back in the day.
Yeah, okay.
When Fast and Furious and Harry Potter, they've been doing a lot of movies, but they started.
Yeah.
The strength of the Bond cultural phenomenon comes from the Dr. No back in the day, the first James Bond movie with Sean Connery. And James Bond, and vodka martini, shaken not stirred, stuff like that. Is, part of the popular culture. It goes all the way back there. These movies, they not only they are good movies. Harry Potter movies, Fantastic
Beasts.
No, I would say Fast and Furious movies.
Oh yeah.
They are fun. They're good, but they didn't hit their mark on popular culture as big as those Star Wars, Star Trek, because they've been around for a long time.
We'll see that in the decades to come.
Of course, that will happen to those.
There was actually a moment where I thought of Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
One of the car chases, he's driving, he got away, but then there's I don't know, 2 or 3 SUVs and a half dozen motorcycles come sleeping over the hill, and in my head I was like, the family. But it was a very Fast and Furious moment.
Yes, definitely.
But, so they're making their way into the into the cultural identity.
Yes. Now you mentioned car. Of course, Bond has the incredible gadgets. They are very part of the Bond universe. The technology developed by Q and the MI6, which
I think is a big part of the fun. Of the movies. What does Q have for him now?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this great one where Q is looking for something. He keeps opening drawers and
you
see you have no idea what it is, but without the context, it's hilarious. But without detracting from the intensity of the moment. Really well done.
I would have to. Yeah, I would not remember. Maybe that happened before. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they could have been references to things.
Definitely. Very, very, very British. Definitely,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, James Bond, No Time to Die. What else do you want to talk about?
With that one?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, really. And I feel like if I say much more, I'm going to end up spoiling something. I thought it was really well done and such a beautiful way to close his chapter. Again, beautiful. This is not a term I would have used previously to describe James Bond. But, it was a really great ending for him, and I'd like to see more Bond continuing in this vein.
Oh, definitely gonna be more, yeah.
Yeah. But continuing in this vein with
Yeah, no, Bond movies changed quite a bit since some. You didn't see all of them. I would say there's a couple of them that might have something like that could be interpreted, like that, but it evolves. All the characters evolve throughout the years to the point that we had M. There was a woman for many years.
Yeah.
Even on the Craig years, Judi Dench, was M, which on the books and also throughout 20 plus movies was a man. It is a man again now. But everything changes. We learn more about the characters because, the books are limited. Ian Fleming died, so he can write more books. So some are heavily inspired by the books. They're named after the books. But some are not. Some, it had to be the creativity of the writers. And some writers have different takes, Like on Casino Royale, the first of the Craig era, Bond was, he would beat up, he died. He would not ask for his classic traditional drink. He would not be as successful with women, and he kind of doesn't. I mean, I don't know, my man. I'm not a judge for men looks. I mean, I am for me because I look good. Anyways, but he's kind of he doesn't look as good as Pierce Brosnan or Roger Moore when they were young. He looks kind of beat up, right?
He does. He's weathered. He's been through some stuff. But in still like a very attractive way.
Sure.
But like very rough and tumble. Yeah. So like whenever he's shirtless, you can see he's got scars. He actually reminds me a lot of I thought a lot of Bruce Wayne in the Dark Knight trilogy. In Nolan's Bruce Wayne, like this battered, tired hero who maybe doesn't want to do this, but he's going to do it anyway.
He's definitely
sadness in his past.
If anything, he's definitely not like so good looking that when he enters the room, everybody's like, "Oh, Mr. Bond." He could like mix up with not being the center of the attention, even though everybody is waiting to kill him. So he is, anyways. Yeah. Anyways, enough Bond. Yes. No Time to Die 007 movie is out in the theaters. Is doing really good at the box office.
Yes, and it deserves it.
The movie theater was packed. It was fun. It was intense. What is the rating for that? PG-13?
I think it's PG-13.
There was not.
I think there was
a couple pretty violent moments, but nothing.
The sex was implied, and the blood was pretty. But sometimes it's like a little bit more obvious. And this one, it was like...
What sex you talking about? There was only one scene, right, at the beginning?
But there's a few times where it's implied.
And he wakes up. Okay,
like we don't even really see them kissing much. They just like wake up in bed together. It's like, oh, okay. So I think probably PG-13 because the blood, even as much action and violence as there is, there's not a lot of blood.
Yeah. So it's available everywhere. It's doing great at the box office, and hopefully it will be the one to be like beat everybody that came before, because the one right now beating everybody is Ven and Let It Be Carnage, and the one was not there. And the one before was Shang-Chi, which was okay. But this one would be a great one to beat post COVID, because it's a great movie and. It's the end of a phase. It's the end of an era, the Craig era. Anyways, go see it and enjoy it. It's fun. We didn't spoil, so we're gonna have a lot of surprises. Yeah, good surprises. Yeah, and
okay.
One tidbit about the movies still. Denis Villeneuve said this week that he'd love to direct the next James Bond movie. Which is like, of course, who wouldn't? So Henry Cavill said, he would love to be the next James Bond. Cavill is great. Cavill is great. He's British. He has the necessary nationality, not nationality, but Sean Connery was Scottish, so I guess. Yeah. But he's closer than in America. I don't think America would be.
No. No, a big part of Bond is that he is British. Yeah. And we see that even his interactions with
What about Australian? No?
So he's got to be English.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. And I know Connery wasn't English, but like...
He's the top.
But he played in English.
Yeah.
An Englishman. Okay. Yeah, and Cavill, he's kind of almost too on the nose.
Yeah?
Because, I mean... Well, because he's... But
all the Bonds
he's English, but we've seen him do, like, run the gamut from, like, looking... This is he's wearing, fancy in a suit, to like all like
Monko?
grungy and action. Yeah, exactly.
Man from Monko, did you like him there?
No, I loved him in that.
So what's the problem?
It's not a problem. I'm just saying like he's almost too perfect for the role.
Okay.
Like he's almost too on the news. Like
again,
he's already the character.
And again,
you know?
he does everything he does is great, and he might be busy with The Witcher or Justice League movies, and so many other things.
I'm never gonna complain about more Henry Cavill.
But the list has all the names. You know, it always has Loki. What's his bucket?
Oh, Tom Hiddleston.
Ian McGregor. Okay. There's Idris Elba, but he said he kind of said he doesn't want to. He's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
They have great talent, and
they do.
But Villeneuve wants to direct, Cavill wants to act, so we'll see if that's gonna do anything. Maybe. Yeah.
We'll see. Okay. Anything else?
I think about Bond is all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Well, let's move on then. We got the first trailer this week for House of the Dragon, which is the new
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's based... A couple things I didn't know before. This is still based on George R.R. Martin books. This one is based on a book called Fire and Blood or Song of Fire and Blood. Something about Fire and Blood. It takes place like 300 years before Game of Thrones.
Is it part of the Game of Thrones book, or is it a book that is specifically a prequel?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer.
Because, I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know if he wrote it as part of the whole Ice and Fire.
Because it could be like a lot that they talk about in one book and a couple of chapters, but they didn't explore on Game of Thrones. They're gonna expand it. I don't know.
Either way, so this is
but it looks good.
It does. So this is they call it the Dance of the Dragon, the civil war among the Targaryen
family.
Didn't know that. Yeah, so that's the drama. But yeah, it looks good. Far enough, like still set in the same universe. So all this fun Game of Thrones stuff, but far enough removed that like it's like 300 years. Like nothing has to. You don't have to worry about continuity or anything like that.
Yes.
It just gets to be its own show.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It looks good.
It looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Targaryens all with the white hair.
So much white hair.
Floating.
Yes.
Matt Smith was a Time Lord. Now he's a dragon. What's a father of dragon? Brother of dragon? Dragon sibling? Dragon friend? Yeah.
I guess we'll
dragon
find out.
player.
And they even kind of do that with the trailer. They're like, oh yes, there's thrones and the Iron Throne already exists, so that's cool. But then at the end, they're like, oh yes, we're the Targaryens and we're kings and queens and royal family. Also, we have dragons!
Yes.
And that's pretty much where the trailer ends. And
that looks cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Okay, any other thoughts?
No, on that, that's all I have.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. SNL premiered season 47 last week.
Oh, it was rough.
It was rough. Yeah, something like half of the viewership they had last year.
It was the worst in history, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Owen Wilson, too bad, because the guy is funny. The guy is cool.
He's very funny.
But his time at the, I don't know, well, I don't think it was the first time, but this time he was in SNL was like bad.
Yeah, so they're already blaming it partly on the fact that it was streaming at the same time on Peacock.
Peacock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And other thoughts that like last year would have done so well because it was an election year, and this year they're not as much to make fun of. I don't know.
I don't know.
That seems like a fishy excuse.
Yeah.
The whole streaming thing's like, okay, maybe. But
anyways, I know that this week there's a little like some buzz on the news because Kim Kardashian is hosting. So I don't know if that's gonna change the viewership, but yeah.
That well-known comic genius.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying she's funny. I'm saying that she brought like buzz with her, and there's already people talking about on the news. Talking about the cold open, how was something about senators and Facebook, because we talked about Facebook.
No, that's actually next on our list though.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So about that, Facebook. Last week there was on 60 Minutes there was a whistleblower about Facebook, And coincidence.
Who spent all week in front of Congress now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And coincidence or not, next morning, Facebook, it sounds like Zuckerberg went Kylo Ren. Anyways, next morning, globally, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp,
yeah,
out, completely out for half a day, I think.
Yeah, it was like 12 hours. Yeah, it was big.
So, yeah, that was weird.
It was big.
Yeah.
You want to know a little cherry on top to Facebook's very, very bad week? One of the Nobel Peace Prize winners.
Before I go there, just the irony. You know how Facebook was not working, was down. Because it tried to access one of the platforms. But you know how they announced to the world that they were down on Twitter.
That's
their competitor.
Yeah.
It was funny, but yeah, Nobel Prize.
Oh yeah, so one of the Nobel Peace Prize winners went like right after this, in all the interviews and things, has been saying that Facebook is like the worst thing for democracy and how they like suppress facts and all this other stuff. So like just a little cherry on top.
Yeah.
It's not been a good week.
The two Nobel Peace Prize winners were two journalists, one from Russia and one from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Two countries that they won for their work on freedom of speech, because they're both from places that they don't have the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
That everybody should have.
Yeah. So for someone in that position to come out against Facebook and talking about how they, about the suppression of like facts.
All
this other stuff. It was
They suppress stories.
Pretty damning.
Stories that come to you. They and there's like this whole thing with Instagram and teenagers and how like some sort of not really like control, but how it's a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw this feature. If you want to share an article, whatever article it is, if you share an article from Facebook, he asks, "Oh, you want to share this without read?" So it's like, what if I do? It's not your business, And it's like it's kind of
It's really messy.
Yeah.
And a big opportunity for anyone who's a fan of government regulation, like the whole whistleblower. I think opens a door for that, which I don't want. Anyway, that's the whole thing.
There's this big discussion about Facebook and so as YouTube and if they are if they could be considered, and it's ironic because if they could be considered like broadcast TV, right? What they air is the network's responsibility, right? If they should be on the same terms. As an editor category. I want to say that, as editors, if it's on their platform, they're responsible. So they would be blamed for it. And they don't want that. The owner, the publisher, the person that posted whatever is responsible for it. But at the same time, they block, ban, delete content from people, so they want everything. They don't want the publisher's responsibility, but when they want, they exert the publisher's responsibility.
Yeah, it's messy. It's not good. It's not good. So I was actually thinking, like, as all this stuff is coming out, it's like, you know what, maybe I should just cut ties with Facebook or like really minimize that and spend more time with Instagram. Oh no, wait. It's the same company.
We could go for TikTok, change to the Chinese overlords.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's a tech war. It's everywhere. You feel the power and influence and censure more here or there, but it's
Yeah. Oh well. Let's go to some good news.
Yes.
Some happy news. We talked last week about Foundation, this like epic sci-fi saga from Isaac Asimov. It's on Apple TV Plus, and they've been renewed for a second season.
Yes, it's so good. It was like it would make no sense. Like watching one episode is like it would not make any sense if that show would be canceled after season 1. It's like there's so much more, and it's so big already.
Yeah. And it's clear they've put a lot into it.
Oh yeah.
They've invested in like big cast, incredible effects. Their writing is great. Like I'm really glad we're getting more. This is one show that definitely deserves to be renewed.
Yeah, about beautiful shows, big shows. Did you see the trailer for Wheel of Time? I guess.
I don't remember.
But it looks
Maybe.
good. It looks good. You know, it's like everybody's is investing hard on those big epic shows. You know, this one's from Amazon. Apple has theirs, and Netflix has several.
Yeah.
Hulu. What's the Hulu one? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But yeah, they always. And anyways, just shows.
Okay. Coolio. This isn't new, but that 70s show is getting a sequel series.
Yes. Produced by Kurt. Is that Kurt?
Kurtwood Smith.
Kurtwood Smith and Debra Rupp. They were the parents on the original show. You know, Red Butler didn't want to put his foot on Eric's...
Foreman.
What did I say?
Red Butler.
Oh, Red Butler is... honestly, honey, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, that's different. No, this is Red Foreman.
Yes. So it's gonna be produced by them for Netflix, and they're gonna be on the show too. So we assume it's gonna be same characters, older, now the grandparents.
That's what I think. Just like guessing like ages and stuff. It would be about right for like Eric's kids to be teenagers. So like Eric's kids to be about the same age that he was in.
Because the idea would be the generational confrontation between Eric's and Donna's. No, he doesn't end with Donna, does he? I can't remember.
I don't know. There's a lot of
Eric's, Donna, Ashton's was his character.
Kelso. Michael Kelso.
And Fez. And what was Miss Ashton's character?
That's a great question. I can only think Meg right now, but that's not right.
And Daniel Masters, who is disgraced because of the legal problems that it would be there and their children's conflict. And yes, the parents, their parents would pop up from time to time, you know, because the grandparents. But I highly doubt that they're gonna get the original cast back. I think it's gonna be a generational confrontation between grandparents and grandkids.
Sure, that would work.
Skipping the parents and maybe cameos from time to time. But
sure.
I doubt they're gonna get Kutcher, Coonies, Grace, for Grace. And
the others whose names I can't remember. It's also going to play on nostalgia the same way that 70s show played really hard on my parents' nostalgia. This is now going to be playing on like our nostalgia for the
and it's what's going on. It's like late 80s with the Goldbergs and young Rock. There's a new, I don't know what the time is for the new Wonder Years, but the Wonder Years they did for the 70s. And I guess they're doing...
I think they're doing that with this one too,
So it's, I guess, a different story. Okay.
I think so.
But yeah, there's plenty of shows that do that because, it's... Yeah,
nostalgia's fun.
TV. Back in the day, cowboy westerns were big. They were not so distant from time. And now it's
the
90s.
Yeah. Tamagotchi. That's one of my big memories from the 90s, Tamagotchis. Anyways, WandaVision, this is no surprise that Disney is going to be milking more out of a successful series. So Disney Plus has announced a spin-off series starring Kathryn Hahn.
Isn't Khan?
No, it's Hahn.
Oh, I thought it was Khan.
I know.
Hahn?
It rhymes with Khan, but her name is Kathryn Hahn.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I always thought it was Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
that would be cooler.
Yeah, it's like another Marvel villain that's gonna be turned into an empathetic good guy or anti-hero, but not a bad guy, which is okay. What a surprise!
Yeah.
Disney's so creative. So woke. Anyways, what? Yeah. So yeah, good. It was an. Oh no, I doubt he's gonna be a villain. You've either die a villain or live enough to become a hero on Disney Plus.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, Kathryn Hahn is not the only witch getting more screen time. Sabrina, there's going to be a crossover between Sabrina and Riverdale.
Yeah, Sabrina from the Children's Adventures of Sabrina from Netflix. No, it's not Netflix. It's Netflix. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna get to Riverdale and meet Archie and Veronica and the gang. So yeah, Riverdale, be ready.
Yeah, we haven't really watched either show, but apparently this is a long anticipated, much looked for crossover.
I think it only makes sense. Yeah.
No, so there you go.
It was either that or the guys from Supernatural. Two quick things about two shows before we close this episode. The first one is about. Do your first. I forgot mine.
Oh, okay. So we haven't watched the Squid Game yet on Netflix, but this is like an insanely popular show, much to the chagrin of one poor man whose phone number appeared in one episode, and after that episode aired, he started getting thousands of phone calls, and it was just an unfortunate accident. The creators had thought they just made up a phone number. Turned out to be a real one. And there wasn't really anything anybody could do. And
they did erase, I read, they did erase digital. I mean, after the fact, they did erase digital. It's not showing on the episode anymore.
That's good. Yeah. But in the meantime, like, the damage is already done. So I guess, I don't know, he had to change his number or something.
Yeah.
It was, Yeah. It was unfortunate. The show's still insanely popular, though. So. Yeah.
One quick bit about Star Wars Visions on Disney Plus. It's several different animation companies producing 9. I think it's 9 or 10. I can't remember. 10 different episodes about the Star Wars universe. Not canon per se. Not. Close to canon per se, but like the artists are very open to create whatever they want, and then it goes from samurai Japan to samurai Japan. There's a lot of Japanese. That's it. But it's really good. It's really good. It captures the spirit, and it's free to adapt because it doesn't need to fit canon or continuity, and they create some pretty cool stories.
Yeah, there have been some fun concepts, some interesting ideas. One of the episodes we just watched was really interesting. That there's this guy making lightsabers in the hopes of like helping bring the Jedi back into the galaxy, but the idea was that when you'd pick up a lightsaber and turn it on, like then its color would be revealed, and that would tell you a lot about who the Jedi was or who the Force wielder was using it. That was a cool concept.
I mean, this concept, Disney's been working this concept for a while now, which I personally don't like, because there was a big thing on the canon of Star Wars universe that. The Sith lightsabers are mostly red because they were made of synthetic kyber crystals. They were not the actual kyber crystals because the Sith, among all the other issues they have, they're lazy. They don't want to go hunt crystals. They made their own and selfish and lazy. All the bad qualities of a villain that villains should have. Yeah. Anyways. I guess going through this whole anyone can become a villain, anyone can become a bad guy, even if a villain, redemption is super easy, apparently. Disney changed this concept in the books that instead of being synthetic kyber crystals, the reason why the red lightsabers for the Sith is that the, let's say, blue lightsaber of a Jedi that turns to the dark side, quotes from Disney, not me, bleeds and gets and becomes red. So it kind of that's, but in this case on the show is like instantaneous. The lightsaber feels like the soul of the wielder and reveals the color of their soul if it's red.
Yeah, which I think kind of took this concept from Disney, which like you wasn't super crazy about it, but here it was actually part of the storytelling, and especially since these are short animations, like it let them communicate a lot.
Yes, and for this one, since it's like it's open world, they do whatever they want. I thought it was a pretty creative way to reveal that, to plot twist something that happens in the show. You're gonna have to watch. Yeah, and it was cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things like that, like cool ideas, cool like what ifs.
And some are very like beginning, middle, and end of the story ends, and some kind of leaving a cliffhanger that's like, I wonder what will happen next.
Yeah.
But Star Wars Visions on Disney Plus. I hope they do other seasons with animators from other parts of the world, creators.
It's a neat idea.
The original idea for Visions was a comic book called Visionaries, Star Wars Visionaries, and they give like, okay, do whatever you want. And there's stuff like Darth Maul surviving, episode 1, that became canon through Clone Wars. And there's stuff like Han and Chewie hit such speeds, they go so fast that they end up in a different galaxy. And they crash on this planet, and Han died because he's humanoid Corellian. Chewie lives longer, and people think he's Sasquatch, but then later Indiana Jones find the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, they connect the whole thing. It's pretty cool.
That's cute.
Yeah. So they have stuff like that. So it's very interesting, and from all over the world. I assume all walks of life. This one is very Asian, is very Japanese.
Yes.
To the point that they have official Japanese audio, but they also have American cast doing in English.
And I think a lot of it, so, as I've been watching it, it's easier to dub animation than it is to dub like live action, but every now and then, like, I think this was animated for the Japanese first.
I think so.
Yeah.
But anyway. this is all we have for this week. It was a good week, and next week we're gonna see. What are we gonna see next week? It's not Dune yet, is it?
No.
The Last Duel.
Yes.
The Last Duel. Man. New Ridley Scott movie. As he does. It looks good. It looks great.
It looks incredible.
And I guess that's it for now. We see you next week with more. Leave a comment and your like and share, and follow us on whatever Retina, Facebook, Instagram, all the platforms they are monitored, and we have no freedom to speak, but we still do. Also on all podcast platforms. So I guess that's it. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.